Raw kicks off with all the women in the ring, and Bliss comes out to celebrate being the first ever woman to hold the SmackDown Women's title and Raw Women's title. After talking some trash, Bayley knocks over the podium she's standing on, and all the women start to punch on and just stack on top of each other. Then they cut to commercial like idiots, and when it comes back there's a tag match that was announced during the break. It's the faces versus the heels. Match is alright. We beat Bayley with DDT again. Hopefully that's not a new finish. And Enzo and Cass come out to have their match with Anderson and Gallows. While they're cutting their promo, Anderson and Gallows end up jumping them. Enzo and Cass clear the ring, then everybody regrouped and they had the match. It was nothing special. Anderson and Gallows got the win though. After that, Rollins comes out and says that he got payback on Joe. I don't know how he got payback on Joe when he just escaped being choked out by him. Anyway, then he says he wants Brock Lesnar, wants the Universal title. Balor interrupts him, comes out and says that he beat Seth with his arm hanging off, and he never lost the title, so the line starts with him. Then Ambrose comes out, says Brock doesn't fight often, and that Raw should be about fighting champions. That's why he'll fight anybody, anytime, any place, anywhere. Yet he's the one that didn't defend the title last night at Payback. Then he says the IC title is the #1 title on Raw, and The Miz comes out, says that Ambrose isn't a good IC champion, and that he didn't defend the title at Payback, which is true. Everybody together tells Miz to shut up, and Ambrose just sounded like he was drunk. Then he called Kurt Angle on his phone, and you could see that he was talking to a text message, and apparently Angle booked a #1 contenders match for the IC title with Bella, Rollins and Miz for later tonight. Then there's a Cruiserweight tag match, the Brian Kendrick, Noam Dar, Tony Nese versus Rich Swann, Akira Tozawa and Jack Gallagher. It was a good match. Gallagher picked up the win by pinning Kendrick. Sheamus and Cesaro come out. They're sporting new heel jackets with the European Union flag on the left sleeve. It can't get more evil than that. They explain they attacked the Hardys after the match at Payback because they showed up at Mania and stole the titles. And Cesaro says the fans would rather cheer nostalgia than them. He says the Hardys are nothing but a novelty act. The Hardys then run in and try to staunch the ring, but Sheamus and Cesaro leave. And Apollo Crews with Titus O'Neil, for some reason, took on Heath Slater with Rhino. I can't even remember what happened in the match, so it couldn't have been that good. Crews ended up getting the win. Next, Angle comes out to talk about Reigns and Big Strong Man. He says that they're both hurt but aren't done with each other, so maybe we'll get to see Braun try and kidnap Kalisto again. Wyatt interrupts Angle and comes to the ring and asks him if he'll be by his side or stand in his way. Angle said the Raw is his show, and Wyatt said it may be his show but this is his world. It was a bit of a weird segment. Then Aries had a match with TJ Perkins. It was an alright match. Aries got the win with his submission finish, the last chancery. Then after the match, TJ Perkins jumped Aries. Maybe just to establish that he's a heel, because his music definitely doesn't tell you. Time for the main event match to determine the #1 contender for Ambrose's IC title. Ambrose wasn't on commentary because he took his wife's job and interviewed all the members of the match throughout the night backstage. He even offered Balor a donut, which was some of the best story building WWE has done in years. Balor, Rollins and Miz put on a really good main event match. Finish had Joe attack Rollins on the outside and Wyatt attack Balor as he was about to get the win on Miz, because apparently all triple threat matches are no DQ, which is retarded. Anyway, Miz pinned Balor after he was laid out by Wyatt and became #1 contender for mid-card Mark's IC title. Raw goes off the air with Miz celebrating at the top of the ramp. This wasn't a bad Raw. I didn't want to sleep for 14 hours after watching it. We'll see you next week for the next Rushed Raw review.